Nick Mangold, center for the New York Jets for 10 years. He's widely considered one of the best centers of all time, and he has a really cool story that caught our attention a little while back. Nick, is that really you?
That is really me.
Wow, look at that. The one and only Nick Mangold.
Hey.
You know, producer Kenny is a super Jets fan, so I had to get a non-biased view on your playing from camera guy Josh, who is a Patriots fan, by the way. And he said you are indeed one of the best centers of all time.
Yep, beast.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I was so captivated by this story that's caught a bunch of headlines. So you were playing, obviously, in the NFL for a lot of years. You're now an assistant coach for Del Barton Catholic High School in Morristown, New Jersey. And I just love your whole heart and your posture on wanting to be involved in a high school team. I just feel like there's so much humility there. And so, first of all, I wanted to say, great job on that. And second of all, I wanted to find out what drew you to that. Why did you want to be a football coach for a high school?
So I never really dreamed of getting into coaching as I was going through playing, but I always did say that if I ever did get into coaching, high school was the highest level that I would ever want to coach at. You know, I don't think there's any loyalty in the NFL, and I can't do recruiting in college. And high school, I think, is the last pure form of true team football. And I had a great high school experience with great high school coaches. And if I ever had the opportunity, I would want to be able to hopefully give the same for kids that were coming up now, because, you know, you get to be able to teach kids about the game of football, but also the game of life as they're going from, 13, 14-year-old freshmen, sophomores into 17, 18-year-old seniors. That's a big transformation for a lot of young men, to be able to be there and be a part of that. I thought was something very special, because I love football. Football, I watch it every week. I don't miss playing. I like waking up feeling pretty good in the morning.
Your body doesn't hurt.
Even though there's still some aches and pains, from the years of playing, but it's better than waking up Monday morning after a Sunday game and not being able to really get out of bed. So my wife, she was kind of the catalyst in saying, hey, I think it's time. You've always talked about it. Why don't we look into this? And so I reached out, and luckily they had a spot for me, allowed me to come on. And I've had a fantastic time with it. So
you've been coaching with them. That's a wonderful answer, by the way. You've been coaching with them for a little while now, since, I guess, the start of the season. Are the kids have they lightened up a little bit? Is everyone nervous around you? What's that dynamic like on the team?
Yeah, no, I think they're great. And I think what I find funny is, most of these kids, my oldest seniors are 17. And, I've been married longer than they've been alive. So I think the excitement level, if I was just coming off the field, like a Jason Kelsey, perhaps it might be a little different. I think there was definitely, when we started up in the summer with summer practices, and there was kind of a, dipping your toe in the water and seeing how we go. And now I think we've gotten to a great point where it's not the ex-NFL guy that's coaching football. It's just Coach Mangold, which is pretty awesome.
Now, Nick, some of these high school students that you're coaching, they probably Googled or YouTube your playing videos because, like you said, they're so young, they didn't get to actually see you play. But in your time of coaching these student athletes, do you have a success story you can share?
I think right now we're sitting at 5-2, on the cusp of hopefully a conference championship that, we're working on here. And so, we're grinding away, but I think it's just been the development of the players and, being able to come in June when we first got started and seeing where everybody was at, and coming from, my last experience with football was the NFL, and dropping back down to the high school level. There's growing pains to high school football compared to professional football, obviously. And so seeing what you can get out of the kids and what they can do and how they can perform. And I've been very fortunate with the group that I'm with, that these kids care, and they want to work hard, and they want to do the right thing. And they study, and, anytime you ask them to do something, they don't say that they can't. They just go out and try it, and it might work and it might not, but they're willing to try. And I think that makes this coaching experience so much easier, and that there's no pushback to different ideas, new ideas, and along the staff too. The staff that I came into has been fantastic, really welcoming me in and, leading me along. And I don't know what I don't know. And so, me asking stupid questions, they have no problem with, because it's like, hey, do we have to wear a certain outfit for coaching on, Saturday football? Like, I don't know. Like, do we need a polo? Do we need khakis? Is it black pants?
You need a tunnel fit.
There's a lot of stupid questions that I ask.
No,
yeah, like, I don't know. Like,
right, you gotta come dressed
it's one
up.
of those things. It's like, well, yeah. And they're like, no, just wear whatever you want to wear. Like, it's really kind of, I was like, all right, well, I didn't know, and I don't want to mess it up. So
isn't that so refreshing? Like what you're describing about how when you get into the professional level, everyone's like, well, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And there's like this breath of fresh air where it's like, hey, yeah, we could try something. Mm-hmm. I know that maybe the stakes are a little bit lower, but they're not to them. And look at the creative results they get.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing too, is it's all relative. The stakes, when you compare it to talking about playing in front of millions of people or going out to try to win a Super Bowl, and you're a $1 billion industry, yes, the stakes are obviously much higher, but in the relative nature of where these kids are for the seniors that are trying to do their best to do the best that they can at this level of football, this is the greatest thing that they can do. And so, you have to approach it that way. And I think we do as a staff a great job of, this is the most important thing going right now for these kids. And maybe they'll have bigger important things in their future. But at this point in time for them, this is the biggest thing they have going.
Nick, first of all, I mean, you're a guy from Ohio. I just want to thank you for being a Jet, but also like embracing being a Jet. I mean, since you've retired, shut up, shut your mouth.
For players and for fans.
Fake Patriots fans.
Exactly. Thank you, Nick. I mean, I love this guy. When you were inducted into the Ring of Honor a couple of years ago, you gave a great speech. I was there in attendance, and you chugged a beer, and I cheers right along with you. So just thank you on behalf of all Jets fans. And most importantly, I think, tell me about your barbecue sauce. What got you into the barbecue sauce game?
Yeah, so barbecue became big. I had an assistant offensive line coach, and Ron Heller, come to us. He played in the league for a long time, and he is my barbecue guru. And my wife at one point for Father's Day got me a big green egg, and I kind of dabbled in it. And then when he showed up, he really held my hand and taught me the ways of barbecue, and I fell in love with it. Hook, line, and sinker. I was making a barbecue sauce, and I give it to friends and family. Whenever we'd have gatherings. It was my sauce, and, people said they love it, but when they're eating it in front of you, usually friends and family are going to give you the niceties of being polite. So I didn't know if it was going to go anywhere. And then when I was done playing, my partner and I were talking and blind tasted it for a bunch of people, and it all came back very positive. So we ran with it. And unfortunately for us, our first production rolled off March 20th, 2020.
Oof.
Not a great time
to
try to sell barbecue sauce when you need people to taste things and see them face to face. But we're still chugging along, and it's a passion project for me. And we also have a charitable component, which is we donate a portion of the proceeds to Answer the Call, which is a charity here in New York City that helps the families of fallen first responders in the line of duty and helping out those folks that go to work every day. They leave the house every day and they don't know if they're coming home. And so the families that are affected by that need all the support they can get. And this charity does a fantastic job. It's a near and dear cause to my heart. It's got my kids involved. And I love barbecue.
By the way, I want to mention your Instagram because this, it's interesting, Nick. I don't know that I've ever seen you play in a football game, but I'm such a huge fan of who you are. And so I just want to support you in any way that we can. Let's just give out that Instagram handle. It's @74, spelled out BBQ on IG, Instagram. Why am I saying IG? And you can follow that and get all the updates on what they're up to and how you can order. Let's talk a little bit of football. Here's the football that I can talk. Would you like to see Bill Belichick coach the Jets next season?
No.
Okay.
That's quick.
That is quick.
Bill. Yeah, I don't need Bill. He resigned. He gave up on our franchise on a napkin. So I don't need him to come back.
Okay. The other question that I have for you, what are the chances that a guy like you and a Jets fan like Kenny could be friends?
I think it would be probably perfectly fine. I don't see any reason why not. If we share the same interests.
I love barbecue too.
Yeah, he likes barbecue sauce.
There you go. Then
There you go.
I had to ask.
You love barbecue? We're done.
Okay, I had to ask.
We can be best of friends.
Well, I met you at a tailgate
All right,
event.
that's enough.
And you were very nice.
I don't freak
I'm
him
sure
out.
you remember me.
It's gonna be too much too soon. Okay.